everyone, I'm Nettie K. Welcome back to my studio. I hope this day is finding you well, and I hope you're finding things to do inside, especially if you have little kids. I know that is a bit of a challenge because they get a little bit stir crazy, and so do we. So what I'm going to be doing in the next little while is I'm going to be alternating our lessons with lessons for kids, and so I'm sure some of you adults will learn something by watching them as well, because I don't dumb it down for the little ones either. I do create videos and I create lessons in my Weed Vinci Academy for children that are pretty much the lessons that you would get in a high school class, only just a little bit simplified. So I hope you find them helpful even as adults. But meanwhile, today we're going to be painting another white dog. If you have been with me for a while, you may notice whenever you go to my channel, a lot of times this particular dog pops up. This particular video we did in McCall College a few years back, and we've had over 100,000 views on the white dog painted at McCall College. And so I thought I'd show this to you. One of my children in my Weed Vinci Academy was struggling with the painting of a white dog the last time we met in our classes, and he said, well, why can't I just use white? Why can't I just use white? I want to use white for my white dog on my white canvas. And I went, no, and another little boy jumped in and said, it's like painting a snowman in a blizzard on a snowy day on a white canvas. You can't see it. I said, that's exactly right. So we have to find other ways. And as you can see on this one of this dog called Pumpkin, there are all kinds of different colors if you look closely. There are purples, and we've got blues and purples and light peach colors and all kinds of different colors that make up this color white. And so that's what I'd like to go over again with you today. And I need to paint this dog anyway. This is my little dog Coco, who's sitting right down here under my feet, wondering what I'm doing. Yeah, so we're going to paint Coco today. He's just a simple little dog. He's got a smaller nose, almost like a fox, in comparison to this big nose fellow right here. And he has very dark brown eyes instead of the golden eyes. And his hair can get up to 8 inches long. So I have to trim him up a little bit here and there. I like the long, shaggy look. So he's been like a hippie, just like his mama. Yeah, all right. So let us begin. I'm going to put this aside and I'm going to show you the palette that I have underneath. Bye-bye, Pumpkin. Now on my palette I have pre-mixed a few colors so that you can see a little bit of what we're up to. The first color I have right here is yellow ochre. Okay, and that's going to be our yellow, and I've mixed it down here with some white, and I've mixed several tonal values. So I have just the yellow ochre with some white, and then I've added more white as I go down the line. I do this in portraiture as well, so I'll mix one tone of a skin tone, and then I'll make up to 6 layers of tonal values going up on the palette, so it's nicely arranged. It isn't just slapdash, you know, random all the time. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. Okay, and then I have this wonderful Cobalt Teal that I've added some white to here, and then a little more white and a little more white. This is Manganese Violet. I've added some white to it, and then a little more white and a little more white until it almost is up to pure white, but it's always got a little bit of a flavor to it. It's like eating snow cones, you guys. You know, you don't want to just eat it with just the ice. Well, sometimes we do, but you want to put some flavor in it, and so that it makes it interesting and lovely, and it's going to make for a much more dynamic, three-dimensional looking animal. Yes, it is. Over here I have a little bit of raw umber and some phthalo blue. And the phthalo blue, you see, I don't have any black on my palette, do I? No, the phthalo blue mixed with a little bit of raw umber will give us our black, and then the raw umber will work for the eyes as well. So I mix raw umber with the phthalo blue for kind of that effect of the darkest color, and then I'll add just raw umber or raw umber with white in order to create some of the highlights in the dark areas around the nose and in the eye area. Okay, so let's get going. Oh, dear. Okay, so here's our little canvas. This is a 12 by 12 canvas. It's a box canvas. I did want to mention a little bit, when I picked this one up, it was very, very loose, all right? sometimes you get those canvases where they come in the mail and the canvases are nice and loose and they send you those little stretcher bar things to try to figure out what do you do with them. Well, I don't use them. Okay, I turn the canvas over and I run it under a little bit of water in the faucet. Yeah, and then I dump it out like this and I shake out the water and then I let it dry and it will literally come up to that nice drum solid, real tight canvas. And that's what I do. Yes, I do. Okay. So now what I've got on my canvas so far, I've got my little picture of Coco, and I'm going to, I see his face is at an angle, and so I want to make a perpendicular line. I'm going to make sure I know where the top of his head is going to end up, and we're going to put a little line right there. In my little can, I've got a little bit of medium. You can use whatever medium you like. I use a Neo Magilp, which comes in a bottle like this, and it's a gel medium. But if you have just linseed oil, walnut oil, poppy seed oil, that sort of thing, you can use that for your oil painting. And of course you can always do this in acrylic as well. Okay, so I have the top of my little guy's head here, and about a third of the way down I have the top of his eyes. Let's see, maybe a little farther down here. So I've got that, I've got his little eyes right here, his nose, and I've got a line going down the middle so that I know to line up the eyes this way with a perpendicular little line that direction, and so they all line up a little bit, and so the dog lines up. And I do this with people as well. If I have the head turned at a slight angle, I still will tend to straighten out the eyes. We just do. We straighten everything out. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you keep everything at the angle that you've got the entire head tilted. Okay, just a little tip of the day. Yes. All right, now I want to begin. Let's just start out. I know you don't want to start out. You usually want to start out with a big brush and, you know, work your way down. Today I'm actually going to go a little bit backwards and we're going to do a nose. And I'm going to actually do this on here so that you can see what I'm doing over here on the palette. I'm going to show you how the nose is going to be split down the middle like this. Okay, I'm going to get a little medium. And then there's usually a top part of the nose that goes like that. And if this is kind of hard for you to see, go on to any of my other dog videos and you'll be able to make it out. But then the bottom part of his nose has a slightly flat mark that's shorter on the bottom, and then it comes up like this. So you see it's got kind of that little cradle there. And then I will put in with a dark blue, I'm going to come around and do, this is going to be a little crude, but the number 6 and the letter J, and then I fill in the nostrils that way. All right, kids? Yeah, okay. I know the kids can do this too. So that's just the shape of the basic nose that I'm going to be doing over here. So let's start out. I'm going to put in the top part of the nose there, the line down the middle, bifurcating the nose. And you know, cats, it's pretty much split right down the middle, but dogs, you're not going to see that whole line all the way down, but I'm going to put it there just for the sake of whatever I'm doing here. And I'm going to give him a little small line on the bottom, a little bit of those arms going up like there. It looks like a little smile, doesn't it? And then we'll put that little number 6, little backwards letter J, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to actually take, this time I'm going to take a little tiny bit of white. I'm going to grab that off the bottom of there. And I'm going to make the top part of the nose just slightly lighter. Then I'll go back in with that dark brown and fill that in just a little bit there. You can't really make it out too much, but that's basically it. So remember, it's kind of a little boxy thing that's kind of light on the top. So now I got a little more white down here. I'm going to do that. Grab a little bit more of that lighter color at the top of the nose. Ooh, and I'm going to put that a little bit more, a little more there to where you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. And then underneath the nostrils, I'll just emphasize that just a little bit there so you can see where that nose is right there. Okay, so that's just the fun part. Now I'm going to work my way up with whatever's on my brush. It's a dark value, and this just helps me make sure that I have these eyes in the right spot. So I'm working my way up, and I'm looking at my photo, and I'm going to come up like this, And I think I need to lower my eyes. Yep, I do. It's always a bunch of corrections that happen, especially when you're working in this way. So I'm going to come up like this. Yep, there it is. So that one was a little bit too high. I've got this one and that one, and they're nice and big. It's such a cutie. Cutie, cutie. Okay, so there's the little brown eyes, and then I'm going to grab the dark blue with the brown, and you won't be able to see this, and well, you might. Yes, I can see it. A little bit of a dark dot in the middle, and I'm going to put this dark rim around the outside just a bit, there. Just so that you can see how fun this can be, I'm going to grab a little bit of that light bluish color, and I'm going to put in a tiny little highlight between between the pupil and the coloration. Okay, so the pupil and the cornea, I just, right where it overlaps, I'll put a little tiny white dot just like that. Okay, now I would like to, at this stage, I'm going to grab a little bigger brush, and I want to start out with, let's even add another color. I'm going to do a little purple, a little bit of teal, and of course my Neo Magelp down here in my jar. And I want to go around the outside of the eyes with just a little bit of that purple and maybe just a tiny bit of the yellow ochre. Okay, so purple, teal, a little more purple. There, that's a good, a pretty good color combination or tonal value. I'm really looking for tonal value more than color. I'm going to come up under here, and I know it's going to be darker than the actual canvas. There it is, and it's got some warm colors. He's really got some interesting colors to him. He's got some very kind of yellowish hair, especially if he's been outside. And then he also has some gray in his ears over here, so it's fascinating. His ears are, I'll pick him up here in a few minutes and you can see him. But there's some funny little, some little silver ears that hang out right here. And then, of course, his hair is just sticking up like this all over the place. So now I'm going to get into a little bit more cool. And we're going to take this down underneath here. Cool, which we're going to take some purple and some teal. I know this seems really, really nuts, but this is the way I like to do it. And here, this part under his nose with his head the way it is, well, regardless, there's not a lot of space between his nose and that muzzle part right there. So now I'm going to just create these, I need a little more medium, woo, these little darker hairs underneath like this, okay? So you see, guys, it's not that, this is a white dog, but look, does that, have I put any white on there yet? No, I haven't. And then it comes around like this. And as soon as I go to put in some of those lighter colors, then they're really going to stand out nicely. But up until then, I need to make sure that we have something for it to bounce off of. If I don't have that to bounce off, you're not going to see it. And, you know, it's like Bob Burridge usually says, he'll say, there's a pony in here somewhere, you know. You just kind of have to wait and trust me on this, that it's going to all work out in the end. I think I like a little more teal now. I'm going to add a little more of that cool teal color as it comes out, like this. And then, where else do I going to put that? Up here, whatever's on my brush. There's just a kind of interesting little mud that's happening right here. And a little bit more of the teal. It's interesting to paint on a teal canvas as well, because it gives you a lot of room to play a little bit. Now I'm going to go up a little notch with some teal and white, and I think just a touch of that purple. Okay, just a touch of it. And we'll come along here to the muzzle. Muzzle is this round little thing, you guys. It's not just a flat thing that goes across their face. It's a little round, it has a little round ball on each side, and you have to kind of think about what's going on with that. So I'm going to just create this little muzzle with this light teal color, and I'm going to pull the hair out this way like that, and it's going to come over like this into the other fur. Get under that nose, and then I'll come back over here where I know that's coming in. just like this. So I'll bring that hair down into the muzzle and drag up that darker hair there. Again, I keep kind of cleaning off my brush by doing this and creating more interest that way. And now I'm going to pull up maybe just a little bit of the purple. Put a little light purple. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Light purple, a little bit of medium on my brush, a little bit more of that purple, and think about which direction the hair is going and keep making some little moves with that. As I go, I just add more hairs in a few different places wherever I see it. Now I see that there's the center of the hair. Sometimes his hair is a bit split down the middle because he gets a little hippie part. He looks like his mama, little hippie girl, only he's a boy, hippie boy. Coco Cheveau, which I think means hair in French. To all my French people, my apologies for my bad French. Okay, anyway, okay, now you see it's starting to come up. So now, okay, a little more purple. I like that purple color over here, a little bit darker purple around there. Isn't that fun how fast that comes together? And so now I do want to go back in with that darker color around the eye right in here. Maybe a little more of that teal and purple and yellow straight. And we'll go in, there we go. That will help when that hair comes over the top. I want to be able to see where that hair hits. And I lost his little eyeball there for a sec. There we go. And a little more dark under here. Think outside of the box, you guys. White is not white. White is made up of all different colors, and so is black. So it's kind of similar, except for one's light and one's dark. Okay. I want to make sure that his eyes stay nice and round so he looks friendly. He's pretty friendly. He likes to dance, and so he stands on his little back feet and goes around the room, you know, waiting for treats. It's real fun. Okay, now we're going to move up a little bit. I'm going to now go up into this gold color, and we'll put a little bit of the gold down here. Isn't that lively and lovely? This is the darker part. This is the top tonal value of the gold. And I'll put just a little bit on the nose as it comes out like that. A little bit like this, a little on the top, and then as we move up to the next level, it will show off just great. Okay, so a little more onto this part of the muzzle right here. I probably should have a filbert brush, but I've got a bright today. My filberts are coming tomorrow, yay! I put in an order with Dick Blick, and praise the Lord, we're getting them. They're supposed to come in tomorrow. You just wonder if you're going to get anything when the world is the way it is, don't you? But it looks like it's all coming together. Isn't that cute? Okay, so next I'm going to grab some white into, I'm going to cross that over with that teal, and we'll see how much I can get there. Okay, now I'm making some little flippy-do hairdo things that go across there like this. This is the very light at the bottom, the light at the bottom. And I'll try not to chop his whole eye off. Half the time you can't see his eyes at all, but today I'd like to be able to see some. So here we are back down in here, down into the yellow and to the teal. And we'll keep adding layers of his hair. There, that looks good. And a little bit down here. The lightest part's going to be on the top of his head. Okay, that's where I'm aiming right here. So I'm going to come out of the middle and start flipping some hair. I'm not filling it in, you know. Let's not just fill it in. It's going to be boring. It's going to be flat, and it's the layering of that dark middle tone to light that really creates this incredible, realistic, well, plausible. I shouldn't say realistic. It doesn't look real, does it? It's a painting, for goodness sakes. Now, here's the bottom of the purple. And we'll add that, maybe just a little bit more there. There, now it's coming into the middle of the nose, coming out. That's looking pretty. There we go. A little bit like that. All right, I'm just about there. Isn't it fun? And a little like this. And I'm keeping that dark around his eyes. I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose it because it's important in order to get that, keep that depth. We don't want to just have it disappear. Now he's got a little bit of brown and brown with a little bit of bluish gray onto his ears out like that. So I'm going to put just a little bit of that for accent, and he has some on this side too. Yeah. And I'll mess around with it, of course, per usual. I'll mess around with it for a few moments, but I'm not going to mess around too much because I kind of like this. I hope you learned something. Who would like to see my little dog Coco? Okay, just a minute. Okay, you guys, this is my little dog Coco. Isn't he cute? He really needs a bath, and I filled up the tub, and he wouldn't go in there today. He gave me fits and hid under the table. So maybe tomorrow we'll have a bath. That'll be the day's activity. Maybe. Okay. So, love you guys, and don't forget we'll be meeting again very soon, and I'm going to have a special lesson for the kids, but everyone can watch, and we'll see what we come up with the next time we meet. So meanwhile, be kind to each other. Remember, your spouse is not the problem, okay? And your kids are not the problem. The problem is the problem. We're all fighting this together, so don't fight each other, okay? Love you guys. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.